Hello guys, this is Barry Blue here, and today we're gonna check out the latest Dokkan data download for the Dragon Ball Heroes collab. First of all, we're gonna look at the new animations and see how they look, and then we're gonna check out the passives. Okay, let's start the video. No sound here. First EOS. Um, Maybe we can actually use the sound. Should be fine. Now we have the Bardock, I guess. Nothing too spectacular in my opinion from the animation so far. Demigura looks very cool actually. Does he do a spirit bomb? Okay. Okay, and now here we have Fool. Yeah. And the highlight probably is gonna be Goku here, for sure. And now the active skill with SSJ for Goku. Xeno actually. I think that looks fantastic. What do you think about the animations? Let me know in the comments below. I am very interested to see if we actually get the voices for the Goku, but we will see about that. Okay, let's start with the Warrior in Black Super Saiyan Dark Dragon Ball boost. Let's first look at the super attack. Greatly raises attack and defense for one turn and causes supreme damage with which also greatly lowers attack and defense. He's a Super Saiyan lead, 130, so not the best lead, but could be nice for beginners. Look at the passive. Key +2 and attack and defense 150, which is pretty nice. Medium chance to perform a critical hit, means 30%. Additional 100% attack and defense when attacking. Additional 150% and chance of crit plus 30% when attacking if the target enemy is HP is 70 or less, plus additional 150% attack and chance to crit plus 30% when attacking if the target enemy is 40% or less. So if you're fighting a weaker enemy who already lost a lot of HP, we get a high attack boost as well as a ridiculous amount of crit. So maybe you don't want to put crit into his hit potential if you get dupes of him. Okay, let's keep going. Plus additional 50% attack and launches an additional super attack when the target enemy is attack down, defense down, stunned, or sealed. So if we can lower attack, defense, or stun seal the opponent, we get additional 50% and an additional super, which can be very nice for events where that king can up. Reduces damage received by 40%, plus additional 50% within the same turn before attacking when enemy's HP is 70 or less. Additional 15% within the same turn before attacking if the enemy's HP is 40 or less. So he kind of wants to be a slot 1 unit, since he can technically have 70% if the HP is 40% or below. Or if maybe, yeah, if the opponent is healthy enough, you might want to put him in slot 2 or 3, since his damage reduction is not as high, and also his attack and crit buffs he gets later on. Okay, and last but not least, he gets additional 100% attack and defense and launches additional super attack for the rest of the battle if he delivers a final blow. So if you have a longer fight with more opponents, or more rounds, you want to land the final blow as soon as possible, which can be difficult, but if your enemy's HP is low enough, he has almost guaranteed crit. So you can put him in slot 1, get the final hit, and then he has that buff forever and does additional super attacks for the rest of the battle. Okay, next one is gonna be the Dark King Demigra. He's demonic power category lead, 130% with free key. He gains greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and he buffs extreme class allies for 30% for 1 turn, himself excluded. Okay, so he can buff defensively. Key +2 attack and defense 240%, to begin with, additional 120% attack and defense when performing a super, which is very nice. High chance to perform a critical hit, 50% crit, also very good. Have that to have that built in. He has a guaranteed damage reduction of 40% and gains additional damage reduction of 20% when there's another crossover or demonic power category ally attacking in the same turn, so you usually will have him at 60% damage reduction at least. But he also gains additional 20% before attacking when all allies attacking in the same turn are extreme class. So in slot 1, before he attacks, he can be 80%, can have 80% damage reduction, and you usually will play him in an extreme class team anyway, I think. So that will be very useful. He gains additional 40% with each attack received, up to 240. And as the first attacker, he gains additional 120% attack and defense. And if he's in slot 2 or 3, extreme class allies get additional 60% boost, as well as a 24% chance of performing a critical hit. So he can be used as a tank, or if you want to have someone who gives the team a little bit more damage in with his passive, or in way that they attack, he buffs the attack of the allies or gives them more crit. He can be also a nice supporter in slot 2 and 3. Yeah. Let's go to the third Dragon Ball Super Heroes unit, which is gonna be Eos. She's gonna be Realm of Gods lead, 130%. She raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, which also sealed super. She has a 120% attack and defense and gains additional 120 defense when receiving an attack, and gains additional 120 if there's a crossover category ally attacking in the same turn, and when receiving attack, plus additional 120% defense. So she looks like to me more of a defensive type of character. So you probably won't need crit on her either. Let's see, all enemies attack and defense minus 24%, and the median chance to stun all enemies at the start of a turn. That's pretty decent when you can use it, but it's most of the events won't give you the chance for that, but we will see. High chance to avoid enemies attack. That's of course pretty good. Have a 50% chance to dodge. It's good all the time. Additional chance of evading an enemy attack plus 10% within the same turn, and additional 60% attack up to 240 with each attack evaded. Yeah, so if she dodges once, she gets additional 10% dodge, so she would be at 60. And then the attack buff happens if I think it's permanently. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. So she at least gets some way of more damage, but I don't see her as a damage dealer. Maybe I'm wrong. But let's see. Else, all allies key +2, attack and defense plus 40%. Nice support. Additional 1 key and 24 attack and defense for crossover category allies. This is also pretty good, I think. And recovers HP, 24% HP at the end of a turn in which she receives an attack. So that's also pretty good. Healing also almost a quarter of your health every turn can be crucial, but my opinion states she probably is going to be more like a support character using her dodge and be more like a defensive unit overall. She might be a very good tank. I have to see about that. Okay, now we come to the almost to the last unit. Dogi Dogi fully absorbed. He's a time traveler category lead. His super attack greatly raises attack, so infinitely stacks, but only for one turn stacks defense. Has a supreme damage modifier as well as a high chance to stun. He gets 2 key attack and defense 150%, additional 50% attack and defense, and chance of performing a critical hit plus 20 per crossover or time traveler category ally attacking in the same turn. So that means if the unit is both, he should get like 100% and 40% per unit. So he can technically have guaranteed crit with a 300% attack and defense buff if your full team is like crossover and time travelers, which I think most of the heroes units are anyway. But if you use him other team like time travelers, where you use like Rose or something, you won't have that high of a buff there, but it's something good to know. An additional 100% attack and defense when performing a super. Additional attack with a high chance of becoming a super, so 50% chance to being a super. Launches additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super and reduces damage received by 20% when there is another extreme class ally attacking in the same turn or against a super class enemy. So he has guaranteed 2 additionals or 1 additional guaranteed. And if you have an extreme class ally or fighting a super class enemy, he gets another additional, which can also be a super, and he gets 20% damage reduction from that as well. Not too bad. Yeah, since he also stacks attack infinitely and gets a nice defense buff from that as well with each super attack. Chance of performing a critical hit plus 20% up to 40 and reduces damage received by 20% up to 40 as well within the same turn with each super performed. So slot 2 or 3 will be probably his best, where he can super first and then get his his damage reduction as well. So he would have usually, I think, a 40% at least, or like 60% damage reduction if you also get the super attack, additional super attack, I mean. Which is pretty nice. And his last pass out of the passive is gonna be high chance of changing all key spheres to AGL and tech key spheres, starting from the 5th turn from start of battle, and that once only. That doesn't mean it has to happen on 5th turn, since it only has a high chance. And since it only can happen once, is if it happens, it happens. Yeah, you cannot choose when it's gonna happen, of course. Okay, now we come to the last heroes unit, which is gonna be Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, Universe 3 Power. His leader skill looks pretty good. Dragon Ball Heroes, Kamehameha, and Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Ki +3, attack HP, defense 170%, and additional 30% HP attack and defense for crossover. I think the leader skill, if you want to use someone with the 170 lead at least, is pretty good. Having all heroes, I mean, all heroes units are in the 200% anyway. Kamehameha and Power Beyond Super Saiyan is like probably the best supported category ever, since they get all the time new support um, over the years. So you always will get some nice units here which you can utilize there as well. Yeah, only with 170, but if you want to use some heroes units, he might be very good with that. Okay. Let's go to his active condition first. Oh, yeah, let's go with that. Active condition, which is the Kamehameha with Xenogoku, unyielded fused Kamehameha. Wait, didn't fuse? I guess the Kamehameha fused. Yeah, that's true. Can be activated when there is an ally whose name includes Xeno attacking in the same turn, which is pretty nice. You can use it turn 1 technically, or starting from the 5th turn from start of battle, once only. Okay, pretty obvious. Um, Most of the time he should be able to use that. We should maybe check out who's his best linking body for that. And massively raises attack, temporarily causes ultimate damage as well, and gives 30% defense buff, and all attacks become critical this turn. Okay. Super attack raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage, medium chance of performing a crit for 1 turn. So you might not need crit for him as well. His link skills look pretty good. If we look at his best linking body, actually the blue boys, the Vegito, or we can get the Elagot. Elagot, or we have also the God Goku. Elagot might be interesting since 10th anniversary is coming up very soon. So, but who's the best Xeno? Uh, is Trunks Xeno? I don't think so. Although it has to be Xeno Trunks, yeah. Yeah, so Xeno Trunks looks like to be the best linking body currently for him. So for the active skill, we will see. Okay, to his passive. Entrance animation on entry once only, defense 200%, and launch additional super for 4 turns. Which means for 2 appearances, for the first 2 appearances, he always has this buff. Key +2 and attack and defense 150%. Nice standard. Plus additional 150% attack when attacking, which is pretty good as well. Gains 40% with each attack performed. Defense with each attack performed up to 200%. There's another additional attack which has a great chance of becoming a super attack, and the randomly changes key spheres except LTR, STR to STR key spheres when there are 3 or more crossover allies, or an allies whose name is include Xeno on the team, which you probably will have anyway. I think he will be, although heroes units are most likely ran in crossover teams. I guess sometimes you will not do that, but yeah. Then I think comes an interesting part of the passive. Um, Additional 50% attack for the rest of the battle, and great chance of guarding all attacks within the same turn with 3 or more key spheres obtained. Um, we will talk about it in a second. Plus additional 100% for the rest of the battle, and guards all attacks within the same turn with 5 or more key spheres obtained. And plus additional 150% for rest of the battle with 7 or more key spheres obtained. This part of the passive is very interesting, since I don't remember having something like that, where you collect key spheres and have like a part of the passive be active all the time. Since if you collect, let's take the middle one, 5 key spheres, you are guaranteed to have the 100% forever, and the guard is only temporarily for that 1 turn. But you of course would also trigger the above effect, so you will get 150% in total and have the guaranteed guard. If you get like first turn 7 key, you get 300%, have guaranteed guard for the turn, and the 300% you will have for the whole battle, pretty much. And additional damage reduction of 40% when guard is activated, so you always want to have 5 key spheres to have the guaranteed guard. Or if you're against a physical unit and you activated already all the buffs, you don't really need too much key anymore, since you're guarding anyway. Okay, that's the last heroes unit. But before we leave here, I have one more character we were gonna look, which is gonna be Beerus, since he gets his super easy. You know, they don't change the leader skill or the super attack, so we just will have a quick look to remember what his super attack does quickly. Immense damage, lowers defense. Okay, that's fine. Uh, he gains free key, 160% attack and defense. Good way to begin with. Additional 160 attack and defense, 160%, and high chance of performing a critical hit when performing a super. This is very good. Having a building crit is always pretty nice, so you can go for additionals on dodges instead with your hidden potential. Um, Additional 160% defense and guards all attacks when there is another movie boss, realm of gods, or exploding rage category ally attacking in the same turn. That is very good. Makes him defensively probably one of the better units. Um, People say he's probably one of the best hero in the game. We will see if we get to try him out. Let's see. And continuing that, he gets additional attack and defense 40% with each attack received up to 160. So that's a lot of buffs. And let's see. Here comes damage reduction. He gets 30% damage reduction if he has HP 30% or more, and gets additional 30% if his HP is 60 or more. So if you're above 60%, you have 60% damage reduction, which is very nice. But if you're below 30, you don't have any damage reduction, so keep that in mind. Also, great chance of launching additional super attack when HP is 60 or less. Okay, that's pretty good, but you don't stack defense or something like that, so it's not the best, but at least you can do some damage, of course. Superclass allies, key +2 and attack 30%. Extreme class allies, key +2, defense 30%. So decent supporter as well. And now we have a quick look at his rage condition, which is increased from being 40% or less to 60% or less, which is also the restriction for his passive, where he loses damage reduction. And he can activate the rage condition twice. It lasts for 1 turn. Let's have a quick look at the rage mechanic. Let's see if it updated that, since actually okay, we don't see the passive here. We just have a quick look on what he does with his super. So he has guaranteed super, which does just supreme damage. On 8 key, he gets greatly raises attack temporarily, and his 12 key is immense damage and stuns the enemy. And now to his passive, which we will see on Twitter here. Oh, the rage condition, I already mentioned that his passive is key +1, 400% attack. Since he doesn't take any damage, he doesn't need defense. Attack 50% per key sphere obtained. Okay, very nice. And here comes also the additional attack with a with a great chance to become a super, which he already had in his pre-rage mode, right? Great chance of launching additional super attack, so it becomes a guaranteed additional with a great chance to become a super. So he does an attack at least. With yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it. Let me know which of the heroes unit you are most hyped for which unit you wanna sum, if you even gonna sum. Let me know in the comments below. I definitely find this celebration not as hyped as like last year with the SSG Force, but yeah, I think Goku, the Kamehameha, the active skill looks pretty nice. I hope we get at least the Japanese voices for the active and entrance animation. But That's it for the video. Again, don't forget to leave your comments down below about your units you like the most from this hero celebration, since it's gonna be the last one. Leave a like and consider subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.